A person wakes up at 3:17 in the morning. The room is dark, the air is still. For a few seconds, they do not know where they are. Their heart is beating too fast. Their body is lying safely in bed, but their nervous system has not received that message yet. Because somewhere only seconds ago they were running, or falling, or standing in a hallway that should not exist, or speaking to someone they lost years ago. And then, almost cruelly, the dream begins to disappear. The face fades first, then the place. Then the feeling, and within minutes the entire world is gone, but the emotion stays. That is the strange part. A dream can vanish from memory, but still change the way the morning feels. You can wake up sad for no clear reason, anxious for no clear reason, missing someone you were not thinking about yesterday, afraid of something that never happened, and most people just call it a dream, as if that explains it. But every night the human brain does something almost impossible. It shuts the body down, blocks movement, disconnects from the outside world, then builds a private reality from memory, fear, desire, and emotion and places you inside it. Not once in a lifetime, not during illness, not only under stress, every night. Which means dreaming is not a glitch, it is not mental noise. It is something the brain keeps choosing to do. And the deeper question is not why dreams are strange. The deeper question is why evolution never removed them. Think about how easily the brain accepts a dream. You can be in your childhood home, but the rooms are wrong. A dead relative can walk in, and somehow inside the dream this feels normal. You can be late for an exam you never signed up for. You can run through a school you have not entered in 20 years. You can lose your phone, your teeth, your voice, your child, your way home. And the brain rarely stops to say, wait, this makes no sense. Because dreaming is not designed like waking thought. Waking thought asks questions. Dreaming pulls you into emotion first. Logic becomes weaker, but feeling becomes stronger. That is why a nightmare can make the body sweat. That is why a dream argument can make you wake up angry. That is why a dream about someone you miss can hurt more than a photograph. The event was fake, but the emotional reaction was real, and this changes something. Because it means the brain does not need reality to create human suffering. It only needs a convincing internal world. This is where dreams become unsettling. They reveal that much of what we feel is not simply a response to the outside world. It is created inside us. A room can be safe, a city can be silent, and still the brain can generate terror or grief or love or shame. Inside darkness, the mind becomes both the storyteller and the victim. And every night we enter that theater without realizing how powerful it is. But dreams are not completely random, they have patterns. Humans dream about being chased, being watched, being unprepared, being embarrassed, being abandoned, being unable to scream, being unable to move, being back in places they thought they had left behind. This is not the dream life of a perfectly safe animal. This is the dream life of a nervous system shaped by danger. A modern person can sleep in an apartment, behind locks, under electric lights, with a phone beside the bed. But their dreams do not always belong to that world. Their dreams still understand pursuit, darkness, separation, threat, exposure. The body may live in the modern age, but the sleeping brain often speaks an older language, and maybe that is why dreams feel so primal. They rarely care about taxes, emails, passwords, or grocery lists. They care about whether you are safe, whether you belong, whether you are being followed, whether someone has left you, whether everyone can see you fail. The situations change, but the emotional architecture stays ancient. A student dreams about missing an exam. An adult dreams about losing their job. A parent dreams about losing a child in a crowd. Different stories, same nervous system. The dream is asking one old question in many modern costumes. What could go wrong? And here is the strange part. That question may have helped keep humans alive. For most of human history, sleep was dangerous, really dangerous. There were no locked doors, no walls, no streetlights outside the window, no certainty that morning would come quietly. A human lying unconscious in darkness was vulnerable to everything: animals, weather, other humans. And that creates a strange contradiction. The human body desperately needs sleep, but the human brain never fully trusted it. Even now, people still sleep differently in unfamiliar places: a hotel room, a new apartment, a silent house in the countryside. Something feels slightly wrong. You wake up more easily. Small sounds feel larger. Your body stays tense longer. Part of the brain remains alert. Because deep down, unfamiliar environments once carried consequences. And dreams may be connected to that ancient tension more than we realize. Some researchers believe nightmares function partly like threat simulations. The brain rehearsing danger before real danger arrives, not predicting the future. Practicing emotional survival, and suddenly recurring nightmares become stranger. Because many of them involve the exact situations humans historically feared most: being hunted, being trapped, losing control, failing publicly, being isolated from the group. The details become modern, but the emotional structure remains ancient. A person dreams about standing in front of coworkers without clothes. But underneath the embarrassment is something older: vulnerability, social danger. Because for social creatures, humiliation once carried real survival consequences. Being rejected by the group mattered, and dreams seem obsessed with that possibility. But here is where things become even stranger. During the most vivid dreams, the human brain paralyzes the body completely. You hallucinate movement while physically frozen. You run without running, fight without fighting, scream without sound. The body goes still, while the emotional brain becomes intensely active. And this creates one of the strangest experiences humans regularly endure: sleep paralysis. A person wakes up, but cannot move. The room appears real, the darkness feels heavy. And many people report the exact same feeling: a presence nearby, someone standing in the corner, something watching them. And what is unsettling is how universal this experience is. Different countries, different cultures, different religions, but the same shadow, again and again. Because when the brain wakes before the paralysis fully ends, the dreaming system leaks into reality. Fear floods the room before logic does, and the human mind begins inventing danger inside uncertainty, which is something it has always done. Humans are extremely uncomfortable with incomplete information, especially at night. That is why coats hanging in darkness become figures. That is why empty hallways feel different after midnight. That is why people run upstairs after turning off basement lights. The brain would rather create a false threat than miss a real one. And evolution may have rewarded that mistake. Because a human who imagined danger unnecessarily survived more often than a human who ignored possible danger completely. Which means something deeply uncomfortable. The human brain was not designed to see reality perfectly. It was designed to keep you alive, even if that meant frightening you unnecessarily. And dreams may reveal that more honestly than waking life does. Inside dreams, the brain stops pretending to be rational all the time. Emotion takes over navigation. Fear, anxiety creates scenarios. Loss resurrects people, and memory becomes emotionally selective. That is why people often dream about individuals they have not thought about for years. The memory was not deleted. It was emotionally stored: a smell, a song, a face, a sentence. The brain keeps more than people realize. Then one night, without warning, a forgotten person appears again, perfectly alive inside a dream. And for a few moments, the emotional system accepts it completely. This is why dreams can feel cruel sometimes. Because the brain can temporarily remove reality's limits. Dead people return. Old homes still exist. Lost relationships continue normally. Then morning arrives, and the nervous system must experience the loss a second time. But maybe that is also part of the function, because dreams do not just replay memories. They reshape emotional experiences. During sleep, the brain reorganizes emotional information constantly, sorting, connecting, weakening some associations, strengthening others, trying to reduce emotional overload before the next day begins. And without this process, humans begin breaking down surprisingly quickly. People deprived of REM sleep become emotionally unstable fast, more anxious, more paranoid, more emotionally fragile, as if the brain slowly loses its ability to process emotional weight correctly, which suggests something enormous. Dreaming may not be optional psychological decoration. It may be maintenance. An invisible emotional repair system humans experience every night without understanding it. And maybe that explains another strange human behavior. People rarely want to fall asleep emotionally alone. A child wants a parent nearby. Adults leave televisions running quietly in dark rooms. Couples sleep beside each other without speaking. Some people sleep better hearing another person's breathing. Others fall asleep holding pillows, or pets, or old blankets they have owned for years, because sleep is vulnerability. And the human nervous system has always understood that. Even now, in modern cities filled with locks, cameras, alarms, and glowing windows, humans still perform tiny rituals of safety before unconsciousness. Checking doors, checking phones one last time, listening for sounds, turning on dim lights in hallways, positioning themselves near comfort. The ancient brain preparing for temporary disappearance, because that is what sleep really is. Every night, consciousness shuts off voluntarily, and humans trust that they will return in the morning, which is actually an extraordinary act of biological faith. And dreams exist inside that vulnerability, somewhere between consciousness and helplessness, between memory and hallucination, between emotional truth and objective reality. And this may be why humans have always treated dreams differently from ordinary thoughts. Ancient civilizations believed dreams were messages, warnings, prophecies, visits from the dead. And even modern humans still behave strangely around them. People write dreams down, search for meanings online, call friends after emotionally intense dreams. Think about dreams during showers and long drives. Because some dreams feel like they reveal something hidden, and sometimes they do. Not because dreams predict the future, but because dreams expose emotional patterns people ignore during the day. A person who says they are fine dreams constantly about losing people. Someone who feels emotionally trapped dreams about endless hallways and locked rooms. Someone overwhelmed by life dreams about drowning. The emotional brain speaks symbolically long before the logical brain catches up. And this creates another unsettling realization. Humans are not fully honest with themselves while awake. But sleeping removes some of the performance. During the day, people suppress emotions to function. At work, around strangers, even around family sometimes. But dreams are less interested in social performance. They pull fear upward, regret upward, desire, loneliness upward. And suddenly, a person who felt emotionally normal during the day wakes up crying from a dream they cannot fully explain, as if the sleeping mind knows things the waking mind avoids. And over time, humans began building entire environments to protect themselves from the psychological discomfort of darkness and vulnerability. Cities glow all night now, streetlights erase shadows, phones eliminate silence. People fall asleep to podcasts, videos, music, background voices. Modern civilization is filled with anti-darkness technology, not just physical darkness, mental darkness too. Because when external stimulation disappears completely, the brain becomes louder, thoughts return. Memories return, emotions return, eventually dreams return. This is why 2 a.m. feels psychologically different from 2 p.m. The same brain, the same room, the same life. But consciousness changes in darkness. Humans become emotionally more ancient at night, and maybe dreams are part of that transition. A temporary return to older emotional systems hidden underneath modern life, which explains why dreams often ignore modern identity completely. Inside dreams, people are rarely thinking about social media profiles or professional titles. The emotional brain cares about more primitive questions. Am I safe? Am I loved? Am I alone? Am I being abandoned? Am I failing? Can I escape? Those questions survive every era. And this is where dreaming becomes bigger than sleep itself. Because dreams may reveal something fundamental about consciousness. The human brain never fully stops simulating reality. Even unconsciousness remains active. Stories continue. Emotions continue. Threat detection continues. Memory continues. The mind keeps building worlds even in darkness, and maybe it has to. Because humans are not simply intelligent creatures. Humans are emotional prediction machines, constantly rehearsing futures, replaying dangers, reconstructing relationships, trying to emotionally prepare for uncertainty before it arrives. Which means dreams may not be separate from normal human psychology at all. They may simply be the most honest version of it. Tonight, billions of humans will fall asleep again. Entire cities will go quiet. Apartment lights will disappear one by one. Cars will empty from roads. Conversations will stop. Bodies will become still. And then the dreaming will begin. Someone will relive an old memory. Someone will run from something invisible. Someone will speak to a person they lost years ago. Someone will wake up afraid without understanding why. And someone, somewhere, will wake from a dream feeling strangely emotional about a life event that never actually happened, which is perhaps the strangest thing about being human. The brain can create emotional reality powerful enough to change the body, without the outside world changing at all. And maybe dreams have always existed because human consciousness itself is unstable. Humans remember the past vividly, fear the future constantly, imagine things that do not exist, replay conversations for years, create emotional pain from possibility alone. The human mind is never fully resting from itself. Dreaming may simply be what happens when that endlessly active emotional system continues working in darkness. Not broken, not accidental, not meaningless, just ancient. Because long before modern civilization, before cities, before written language, before electric lights glowing through windows at midnight, there were humans sleeping beside fading fires, listening to distant sounds in darkness, falling unconscious beneath open skies. And somewhere inside those ancient sleeping minds, the first dreams were already beginning.